So, but I was always into the art at school.
Yeah.
Um, was quite, yeah, quite, I was, yeah, into sport as well, a lot. But as far as art, it's like English was quite good. It's like English, art, and the sports, yeah, the arty stuff. Um, yeah,
What sports did you play?
football. Every played football. Basketball. I was good at basketball. Used to do athletics. Not so much critics, not so much cricket. It was like football, basketball, and athletics. They were the main three sports I did. I used to go out to Malden, and play football on a Saturday and all that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. End up in the West End after, you know what I mean, up Soho or Suffolk or
Yeah.
Elephant Castle or something with your mates, messing around on the tubes on the way up and down. Yeah. Yeah, it's a light sports, but art, I used to love the arts back in from a long time ago. It's always nice solace for me as a child, you know what I mean? I used to love painting and drawing and stuff. And was briefly in art college one point in my late teens, you know, studied at art college for a brief period.
And there's
But
a bunch of art. I wrote down. I was trying to research different musicians who are artists who were musicians. Obviously,
mhm.
Joni Mitchell, Ronnie Wood. I was messaging a mate, and he was a painter, and he was telling me about Matisse. Apparently, was also a musician as well. And I
Jody
knew
Roddy Wood, Errol Linton.
Errol Linton, absolutely, absolutely. But there's also a guy called Paul Klee. I think is a Swiss German artist who I really like, and he was
Yeah,
also a
yeah.
violin player.
Oh, okay.
He's great. He's amazing, amazing artist.
I remember Clay. I do remember it. Yeah, the work. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of abstracty sort of stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
I think yeah, really great. I've seen him recently in a bunch of exhibitions in Europe. But how do you that connection between painting and music? How do you think about that? Or was it just does they just connect
I
for
do.
you?
I do paint a lot of. I do paint a lot of artists in general, not just musicians, but I do paint a lot of artists. But I suppose maybe there's a connection there. I always got music on playing when I'm painting.
Yeah,
Definitely, you know what I mean. That's always happened. But that happened from when we was even in school. That happened, The teachers let us bring our tapes in. We had a great art teacher in secondary school, um, and he used to let us bring our reggae tapes and South System tapes, and people just bring their punk rock tapes in, and you do your art along to it. His name was Keith Trussels, and he still plays music now. I met him later life. You know what I mean? He came to one of my exhibitions last year. And have you ever heard of a band called Brett Marvin and the Thunderbolts?
no, I haven't.
All right, then, yeah, they're a bluesy band. They've been around for a long time. But how about the tune called "You Always Find Me in the Kitchen at Parties"?
I
Get
don't
on,
know. I put,
always find me in the kitchen at parties. Yeah, he
okay,
is involved. He wrote that. He's
yeah.
involved in the writing of that. Yeah, I think what's the guy called? I forgot his name. I think in the 80s. I think it was came out or early 80s.
Okay.
But he was is a big influence on us for the art and the music. You know what I mean, because he let us bring our stuff in as well. But I suppose there is a link. I suppose the music and the art. It's all expression, isn't it?
Mm,
Music, art, poetry, writing. There's always a kind of link along the line, isn't it? Way to express yourself, and
yeah.
people have ways to express themselves in any other way. There's a voice in it through their artwork, especially the rapport.
It all
You know?
connects. It all connects, man.
Yeah,
It all
I mean, I
connects.
mean, yeah, because I mean, look, most of the artists, it's quite painting is quite. I mean, you got traditional painters, isn't you, and stuff like that. If you're going into the painting thing, but a lot of it's quite middle class, isn't it? Really, you never have time to paint, man. Just go out there and work on the fields or do whatever you have to do. Do you know what I mean? Or
Absolutely.
some artists would work all day and then come and paint at night or write at night or you know. I suppose I sort of treated it in a way through the busking in a way. I thought I had to make a living somehow, you know what I mean? I wasn't making the gigs. I'd go out and try it, the busking but obviously it was a bit harder with when it was illegal.
Mm.
You had a lot of hassle from the police and stuff, you know. Yeah.
You talked a bit about London, and I'm from. I get dizzy when I go south. I'm from northwest London, Kilburn, so I get all dizzy when I cross the river. But you talked about being the London influence, and you can hear it in your music. And my
Yeah.
favorite thing about London is the multiculturalism and a different. That's
Yeah.
just my favorite thing. Could you talk a bit about London and how important London is to you?
Yeah. I mean, I've grown up in London all my life. I mean, definitely been that is a part of my life. You know, I've known friends from all over the world. From when I was primary school, that was, you know, my mates were from all over the place and people from all over the place, the world in school. And then when I went later in my mid-teens, went to Brixton College, there was a lot of people from all over the world. I met people from all over the country as well, coming in from, as you got older, coming in from different parts, coming into London, because London's a melting pot, isn't it? People come in from
Mm.
all over the place. Even though they might end up back in their original area where they came from. A lot of people do, don't they? You know,
Yeah,
a couple of friends that were from Bristol and them sort of areas end up back. They end up back there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But they spend a big chunk of their life in London because because it's exciting, isn't it? London, everything's going on, the music and all that. I mean, I think last year I went to go see a Basquiat, was it, or the year before, or was it a few years back? Wasn't it Basquiat exhibition was it in Barbican? Was it or something?
is that the graffiti? I don't know his work so well. Was he the graffiti
Basquiat, yeah,
artist?
yeah.
Yeah,
He started to be a graffiti artist, and
yeah,
he ended up being one of well, he's a modern artist, isn't he? Abstract
yeah.
master, isn't he now? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think the most black artist he's most sold most work for that much money, isn't it? Yeah, I
I,
think.
I don't know much about him. I have to confess. I will check
Keep
him out
out,
though. I need.
go online. But
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I went to go see him, and I thought, oh, a lot of that reminded me of Brixton, that film he was in. That reminded me of Brixton a lot. A lot of things are
really.
broken. A lot of things are broken, weren't they? But there's still a lot going on, wasn't there? That's the buzz about it. When there's a lot of artists, a lot of musicians,
Yeah,
and because I was a teenager, do you know what I mean? In the 80s, because I was born in the 60s. So in 84, I was 18. You know what I mean? Or something. You know what I mean?
mm.
So, but yeah, definitely influenced because even like with the reggae thing. I remember one time I was playing harmonica. Someone said, so hey, that sounds like a bit like ska. I thought, oh yeah, really? Okay, yeah, all right then.
Yeah.
Well, it just happened naturally. It wasn't nothing forced. You know what I mean? And funky stuff just comes through naturally, gospelly, because I was brought up in the church as well, the gospel. My family is quite religious on that side of the things. So, you know what I mean? It was so much influence of music in London.
Mm.
God. So no wonder my blues sounds like the way it does. It wouldn't be, if you've got a little rock element in it, then it'd be my blues probably based on more jazz and reggae and soul, gospel. You know what I mean? A little bit folky or whatever, singer songwriter.
That's a great mix of different styles.
Yeah,
You mentioned reggae quite a lot. Though. I'm curious about that because is that a
yeah,
big part of your musical
yeah. Of course,
education?
well, yeah, because when we was growing up, it was either soul or reggae. You know what I mean? It was
Well,
the biggest. You know what I mean? Obviously, there was pop and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, all the pop
yeah.
music. What would be my pop music days would have been, oh, I can't remember. What would it have been? What, in the 80s?
I don't know pop music, man.
Yeah.
I got
In London, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
everything, you know what I mean? There's all the whole heap of mix, wasn't there? You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's a port town, isn't it? Really, so everything came in here, didn't it? Really,
absolutely.
from all over the world. So, and when I went to college, I met South Africans and busking, and that came in. The South African music was big in the 80s, and mum and dad used to have country music. You know what I mean? Gospel was big. Oh, it's just like everything says it's whole melted pot in it, London
Yeah,
town. So I couldn't see why it wouldn't affect in my music anyway, even to be hip hop or funk or anything. You know what I mean?
mm.
It's there. my music. You know what I mean? It ain't just straightforward blues, even though I do play straightforward blues.
Ask a little bit
Okay.
about harmonica, because the first time I heard you play was busking at, I think it was Green Park Station. I used to do the Metro Underground scheme, and you did too. And there used to be the big
Yeah. Yeah.
Tuesday morning fight for the Green Park slots online. You used to have to call up and get those. But I heard you playing there, and I heard your harmonica, and it was like an orchestra. Your harmonica, it was so great. It was just this massive sound. I've never heard anyone
Mm.
play solo harmonica like that. Can you talk about why that instrument was an instrument that you've become so? Well, why did you start with harmonica?
Well, fine. It started late teens. Didn't really get on in school. We love music. I mean, you and a lot of the musicians who was in the reggae bands at school and stuff. They're my friends and things, but I never really played an instrument. But the lessons in school were a bit like too many people, too
Yeah,
many people, and not enough instruments and that sort of stuff. And I remember me and my mate, God bless his soul, Mark Payne. He was trying to. We had to, between us who could play the flute, yeah, and he could make a stand. He got it. She goes, you can take it home. He didn't even use it in the end. But I always liked music. But my mate Tyrone Balkan sold me a harmonica. You know what I mean? A second-hand one as well. It was this one, and that's what kind of grabbed me, the harmonica, and I started playing that. And then through the harmonica, it kind of gravitated to think, oh yeah, I got. I remember that that song with that harmonica on it. Obviously, we know what I mean. Different reggae dub, and it's quite harmonica and stuff that you know more you know than you think. You know what I mean? Than you think. And then I found the blues through it. I mean, I know the blues a little bit, but through the blues harmonica, I heard Sonny Boy Williamson. I thought, oh my word, that's how you play it. I said, hey, well, a bloke like that, man. And that was it, really.
So Sonny Boy Williamson's a big influence, you'd say.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sonny Boy the second, I think, was him when I first heard him. But then I fell in love with Sonny Boy the first as well, and all the Little War and all the Waters and all the old cats and Big Mama Thornton, and I went way back because when I was lucky, I kind of like what was it? So it'd been late 80s, mid 80s, I think. And I saw my harmonica. So it'd have been like maybe 18, 19. Yeah. About 85, 84, you know what I mean? So I caught the end of Dub Bell music. So I went down there by tapes. So, at the time I went in there and found some tapes from stuff and that was still going. And then I found the Station Tavern and, just met people busking and the blue scene and just got involved.
Yeah,
And and one day I went busking, really. And through going busking, I met other artists, other musicians, as well as at other gigs. I met other musicians at some couple of blues jams I used to go to. But going busking was the first thing that I kind of like made a bit of money and stuff from, and I linked up with different people, different artists. Pete Smith, Pygmy Pete Smith, used to call him, if you don't remember him, slide guitarist,
okay.
and Dave Rose, people like that. So it was free about when we first started out, just washboard, harmonica, and guitar.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way you play your setup for harmonica, you use a bullet mic. Is that correct? Is that the right a bullet
Yeah,
mic? And is there
yeah,
any setup that you
yeah.
prefer, or what's your
No,
specific
when I
setup?
was busking, I used to just I used to just go through an old PV amp
Yeah,
and mainly sing through the same vocal mic, and it would be finger clipping and foot stomping.
yeah.
I mean, when I first started playing, I clipped my fingers so much. I stopped clicking my fingers because I had two splits, one through there, one through there.
Oh
I
no.
couldn't click it no more like this. So I started going on the foot stomping, and you need to start going. So
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I never used a drum machine. It's always like a rhythm on my own sort of thing. And yeah. But from I don't know how my sound came about really. What it's just I think it's playing on my own a lot. If you're talking about the big sound I had on solo harmonica,
Mm.
it's been probably playing on my own a lot, and then obviously all the gigging I did over the years as well. You know.
It sounds great, man. It sounds really great.